Hi, it's Sienna. Welcome back to Sienna's 1111 Spiritual Healing. I thought I'd go ahead and pull a few cards about the Kansas City, the three men who were found frozen in the backyard of some Jordan guy's house. So I thought I'd go ahead and see what messages want to pop out, what Spirit has. I have an Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups. I also got the Magician in reverse, but still the Magician, and a Knight of Swords. I definitely get a feeling of, with the Ace, and excuse me, a new beginning, a new idea. Maybe someone had thought of this idea to, something in your head. So maybe like some kind of, drug was smoked or a pill was ingested. Definitely more than just drinking involved. Something that kind of made someone feel spacey, like flashy in their head, like they couldn't focus, right? I feel like with this Ten of Cups, it definitely kind of was like, these people felt safe where they were. They thought they were just there for a football game, nothing crazy going on. When it comes to cups, with this cups, it might be something put into a cup. So, maybe something was put into their cups to make them feel this kind of spacey in the head feeling. We got the Magician card. This Magician might have something to do with this guy who, might have put something in these three guys' cups. He thinks he's a magician. He worked with his hands to, pretty much, I want to say, poison, drug, put whatever he put into their cup, or, it's like he knew, how strong this drug was, and didn't share with these other men, like, how much you didn't need to take or how small of a hit, you could take and still feel. It's like, he knew more than they did about what they were ingesting. And, maybe he even, did it too, or did it first, but, didn't drink as much or didn't hit it as hard. Something like that. He knew how hard of a drug it was. He knew, what it would make him feel like. We also have the Knight of Swords, definitely someone running away from a conversation. Swords all about words and conversation. There was a lot to do with, him, this guy whose house it was that they all went to. He kind of like packed up his stuff and has moved away, has moved out of this house. Definitely movement. And when it comes to communication, people were trying to get a hold of him to get a hold of these three men that were missing, and no one could get a hold of him. He was running from some kind of conversation. He was running from speaking, using his words to communicate, what was going on. Let's go ahead and see if Spirit wants to give us a few more tarot cards. Thank you, Spirit. Judgment. Definitely judgment here. I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of judgment on this case. I feel like a lot of people don't agree that these three men just froze to death. So, there is definitely a lot of judgment on, this guy, whose house it was that they were all at, the renter, his house. Judgment maybe on the police for not investigating more into it. But definitely a lot of judgment when it comes to this whole situation of what happened to these poor men. Thank you, Spirit. Whatever this is. Right, we definitely have a Four of Swords. Again, someone, hiding from a conversation. Someone, almost like resting and staying away from, what needs to be said. Staying away from the people looking for him. This could have to do with, there is a four. There were four people. And the fourth one, he was trying not to communicate. He was hiding from the people looking for their loved ones. The three men that were missing, there were loved ones looking for them, and he didn't answer phone. He didn't communicate. The only time that someone actually got a hold of him is when a police officer actually went to the door. I thought I heard that the fiance of one of the three men, she went to his house and knocked on the door. No one answered, and something about how like she broke in through a window or through somewhere through a basement. And she was the one that saw one of the gentlemen outside on the porch, and then that's when the police were called. And then that's when this man answered the door, is when a police officer actually knocked on it. And then that's when the police officer found, these other three. It's weird that there are these three. The police officer found these other three men, or the other two men outside. All three of them were outdoors, and the guy said they froze to death. Oh, so sad. It's definitely weird now that I look at this, and I was saying that in these three, these three different looking needles. There is a fourth one here, it looks like, actually, that is connected, and that's where the fourth sword is, because these little needles, sticks of this nest are, what, these four sticks, and then it connects this yarn that is hooked to this heart. All right, I thought I would go ahead and maybe pull some of these, yin and yang, some oracle, kind of just see what cards want to come out, any little messages. Ooh, a lot of them. Spirit wants to share. Attraction, Mars, hot. Lack and doubt. Freedom, leap. Uranus, opportunities. Change and courage. Higher self. Ace, water. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Let's see. Forming, structure, solid foundation. Oh, there are actually 3 cards over. Oh, 4 cards over here too. Truth and expression. Muscle line. Receive and open. And feminine. All right, let's go ahead and get a few more tarot cards. Let's see, we got the 2 of Cups, flew out in reverse. Definitely, not a true friend, not true love, not real feelings involved. It's almost like this guy planned to do this. With the 2 of Cups, that's a lot of love. That's someone you really care for, a lot of feelings and love involved. I'd say in the reverse that it was kind of fake, made up. Maybe he had this all planned out. Like, hey, we're going to be friends. Or, maybe they have been friends for a long time. All 4 of them. I don't know like too much about the story, just a little bit that I've heard. But maybe he wasn't really friends with them. But I feel like maybe he had this planned out. And then again, obviously with the cups, like I just keep getting a feeling like something was put into their cups. Like they they were drinking something or took a pill and used their drinks from their cup. Also the Star card in reverse. This might have to do with, the one guy who is still alive who didn't know that his 3 friends froze in his backyard. He just had no idea they were back there. And he maybe wanted to be a star. Maybe he thought, he would just swiftly, easily get away with, oh, they froze in the backyard. And, everybody would believe him. But, no one believes that story. It just seems really far out there. I mean, what 3 grown men are just going to freeze to death? That's what I mean. Like, I get a feeling that, if I'm not a man, and if I was outside and I was that freaking cold, like, I would leave. I would jump a fence, I heard that their cars were out front. Like, I would use my phone, call somebody, jump a fence, get to my car, like, something like that. So that's how I know, like, they weren't just, like, outside and froze to death. They had to have been on something, unconscious almost. So it's like, maybe they were drugged, they were given something, maybe they all hit something, could have been something they smoked. And they all started just to feel like, it was something too much. And I feel like, maybe they were all unconscious and maybe they were placed outside from this star. This guy put them out there so he could, have them freeze to death. So, he had a story to tell. So, it didn't look like he was a part of it. But there's definitely not any doubt in my mind that these 3 grown ass men froze to death outside and just froze to death. Like, that just makes no sense to me. I think they were unconscious and they were put outside. Or maybe even, they were already gone and then put outside. But they definitely, didn't choose to be outside and freeze to death. Like, and I don't think, I've been on some stuff before. Like, what I mean? It's not, I've done drugs, I've done different things, and I know how it is to like kind of be out of it. But I mean, I don't think that I could ever just freeze to death. I'd find warmth. I'd break a window. I'd go inside. Like, it just wouldn't freeze to death. That's why I just don't believe it. I don't believe that they froze to death. I don't think anybody believes that they froze to death. I have a feeling, like I said, this is all just, my opinion, not facts, just how I feel. It's kind of what the cards are making me and what spirit, the feeling I'm getting. But they were placed outside. And I know and feel that they were placed outside after unconscious or after already gone. They definitely weren't willingly put outside and just sat out there and froze to death. This was definitely something that had to do with, they were unconscious and they were dragged out there. They were placed out in the backyard. Thank you, Spirit. Can I get a couple more? Just a few more tarot cards. Maybe anything from these men. King of Cups. Again, with the cups, the love and the feelings. Oh, and he's wearing a red shirt. I don't know, that kind of stuck out to me, obviously. Again, with the cups. Again, I mean, obviously cups, are a part of tarot, but I get a feeling that something was put in their cups, or something that they used, like a pill that they had to use their cup to take a drink, to rinse this down. But definitely something was placed in their cup and they ingested it. And then, like I said, they got a funny feeling, they were just kind of feeling spaced out, like almost like they lost control and like they couldn't really walk. They got really confused where they were. And then either, they went unconscious because it was that kind of strong. And then they were placed outside, or, somehow they all wandered outside. I mean, I guess the only thing I could think of is like they all got really warm. So they wanted to go cool off. So they went outside. But I really, think that's far-fetched. I really, like I said, think that they were placed out there. They were dragged out there outside. Somebody definitely put them outside. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I get the feeling that something with a cup, definitely something was placed in their cup. I feel like they were drugged with something in their cup. So, hopefully we'll get answers soon. I know, nobody wants to believe, and nobody does believe that, these poor men, and their families, everyone, like, no one believes that they froze to death outside. That's just crazy. So hopefully, they get justice. Hopefully, we get to find out soon, what the autopsy says, hopefully something comes back and helps them kind of figure out, what happened to these poor men. And, I just pray for their family and friends. And I just feel so bad. And what a tragedy, what a sad story. I usually don't do videos and make an actual video when I do readings like this. I usually just kind of do true crime little readings for myself. I thought, maybe I would start to do them in video form and actually share them on my YouTube page, because, I get such a connection to these stories sometimes, and, I want to pull my tarot and I want to see what tarot and what my spirit guides have to say about it. So, hopefully we find out soon. But again, like I said, I definitely feel like something was, they took something, they were drugged. It's not like they knew, they could have known that they were taking something, but they didn't know it was going to be as strong as it was. Like, they were lied to about what it would make them feel like, or what it actually was. And then something to do with this color red. I know the football team, the color is red, but I feel like maybe there's more involved that have to do with red, like a red pill or red drink or something red. Right. Thank you so much. And I really hope that this will help. If anybody sees it and maybe, they get some kind of downloads too, maybe they'll have the same kind of feelings that I do, that, definitely something was placed in their cup and they were taken outside. They didn't go out there on their own and freeze to death. All right. Bye. Thank you.